Hey y'all, Beasley here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue our look at Tulsa's championship baseball teams by looking at the 1963 Tulsa Oilers, and we will focus specifically on coach John Pepper Martin. The 1963 Tulsa Oilers qualified for the playoffs with a 74-66 regular season record, then swept the Austin Senators before defeating San Antonio 3-1 in the championship series. 18 players from that season played Major League Baseball during their professional careers, but the most recognizable name from the 1963 Tulsa Oilers was a coach, John Pepper Martin, the legendary St. Louis Cardinals player that is not, but should be, in the Hall of Fame. Let's talk about Pepper Martin and the 1963 Tulsa Oilers. John Leonard Roosevelt Martin was born in Oklahoma Territory in 1904, the youngest of 7 children born into an impoverished farming family. When the family farm failed, the Martin family moved to Oklahoma City. The move did little to improve their financial situation, forcing the young John Martin to prioritize work over education. He dropped out of school as a 17-year-old high school freshman. Martin continued to work menial jobs in Oklahoma City and played on a number of church, club, and company teams. In 1924, he tried out for the Guthrie Senators of the ill-fated Oklahoma State League. The league folded midway through the season, but Martin had shown his potential as a ball player, and St. Louis purchased his contract from the Guthrie team for $300, and he was assigned to their Class D team in Greenville, Texas. Thus began the legendary career of John Pepper Martin. Dennis Oust pitched for the Oilers from 1963 to 1968, pitching in 525 total innings for Tulsa with a 26-19 overall record. Oust pitched for the St. Louis Cardinals in parts of the 1965 and 66 seasons. Born in Veneta, Oklahoma in 1939, outfielder Jim Beecham played with the Tulsa Oilers in 1959, 60, 61, and 63. Beecham led the Texas League in stolen bases in both 1959 and 1960. He hit .455 in 11 games for the Oilers in 1961 before dislocating his shoulder while sliding into base. In 1963, he was named the Texas League Most Valuable Player. A graduate of Grove, Oklahoma High School, Beecham played college ball at Oklahoma State University and was player hitting coach for the 1974 American Association champion Tulsa Oilers. Lamar Drummond's 1962 and 1963 Tulsa Oilers. In his 18 games for Tulsa in 1962, Drummond's had a .500 batting average in 26 at-bats. Gary Kolb appeared in 129 games for Tulsa in 1962. He had a .318 batting average in 1963. He was in the major leagues from 1960 to 1969, including 4 years with the St. Louis Cardinals before being traded for Bob Uecker with Milwaukee in 1964. He is the cousin of Danny Kolb, who pitched for the Tulsa Drillers from 1996 to 2002. Infielder Jose Coco LeBoy played for Tulsa in the mid-1960s before being drafted in the expansion draft by the Montreal Expos, where he played at third base in the Expos' inaugural season. LeBoy hit a 3-run home run in the 8th inning to give Montreal their first ever win. The Sporting News named Coco the 1969 Rookie of the Year at the age of 29. Gordon Richardson pitched in 4 seasons with the Tulsa Oilers, compiling a 43-29 record with Tulsa. Gordy was named 1962 Texas League Pitcher of the Year with a 13-6 record and a 3.18 ERA. After being called up to the St. Louis Cardinals in 1964, Richardson was traded to the New York Mets. Pitcher Chuck Taylor bounced between the Tulsa Oilers and the St. Louis Cardinals between 1963 and 1969 before pitching in the major leagues until 1976. He had a 35-21 overall record with Tulsa and started 25 games for the 1963 Texas League champions. Bill Wakefield pitched for the Tulsa Oilers in 1962 and 63 before being traded to the Mets, making his major league debut in 1964. He pitched in 120 innings over 62 games in his only major league season. Harry Watts was an Oilers utility player, appearing in 407 games for Tulsa between 1960 and 1964. He was signed out of Texas Southern University in 1958. Watts spent the 1961 season with the St. Louis AAA affiliate, the San Juan Marlins in Puerto Rico, with manager Joe Schultz, who is discussed in the episode titled Rogers Hornsby and the 1952 Tulsa Oilers. After 4 years in the Cardinals farm system, John Martin was called up for the final 39 games of the 1928 season. Pepper hit .308 to finish the season and appeared in his first World Series with the Gashouse Gang. He played in the outfield in the 1931 World Series, tied a record with 12 hits during that season, and had a batting average of .500. He also stole 5 bases as the Cardinals defeated Connie Mack's Philadelphia Athletics. Pepper had another impressive outing in the 1934 World Series with 11 hits and a .355 batting average for his second World Championship Series with the Redbirds. Amongst his other notable sporting achievements, basketball with the House of David team, playing for the NFL Brooklyn Dodgers, midget car racing, and he was owner and manager for the Oklahoma City hockey team. Cardinals general manager Branch Rickey would not allow him to play for the hockey team. Pepper was allowed to hunt, fish, and play the guitar, so he formed a band with 4 of his Cardinals teammates, calling themselves the Mississippi Mudcats. They performed on local radio with old-timey classics like They Buried My Sweetie Under the Old Pine Tree. In 1939, Pepper Martin was named captain of the St. Louis Cardinals. After struggling with injuries largely due to his fearless play, he retired after the 1940 season. After 13 years as an integral member of the Gashouse Gang, Martin needs to be a member of the Hall of Fame. 14 individuals that played or managed for the Cardinals in the late 20s and 30s have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, including Jesse Haynes, Leo DeRocher, Rogers Hornsby, Frankie Frisch, Burley Grimes, and Dizzy Dean. Pepper should be honored alongside his teammates. John Martin continued to be involved with baseball for the rest of his life. He came back to St. Louis in 1944 at the age of 40 to fill in due to the player shortage caused by World War II. He managed minor league ball for 13 years. He was player coach for the Tulsa Oilers in 1958, making 1 plate appearance, resulting in his final professional hit of his career at the age of 54. Pepper was both a coach and the color man for Oilers radio broadcasts in the 1960s. He also took the position of athletic director for the Oklahoma Department of Corrections and managed the state penitentiary baseball team in the 1960s before his death in 1965. Not a lot of memorable names on this 1963 Tulsa Oilers team, but a memorable team for sure, the 1963 Texas League champions, and one very memorable coach. With 19 championship titles in the past 126 years, there's a lot more Tulsa championship baseball to talk about, and even some non-championship teams like one of my favorites, the 1989 Tulsa Drillers, featuring pitchers Wilson Alvarez and Terry Matthews. This team featured Dean Palmer, Juan Gonzalez, and Sammy Sosa. So please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more of Tulsa baseball. And I hope to see y'all again very soon. Thanks for your support, and Pepper Martin for the Hall of Fame.